Hello, how's everybody doing today? My name is Mohammed Abdallah. I am a grad student here at Grand Canyon University, the Master's in Special Education program. Currently in my second course with Professor David Holt. The course is basically special topics in the Constitution of Arizona. So today I'll be talking about the initiatives and referendums in Arizona. As we know, Arizona is different than other states. The way its constitution is created by progressives. Uh, Basically, the Arizona Constitution gives power to the people through the initiative, referendum, and recall. These three powers are reserved to the voters by petition to propose or repeal legislation or to move an elected official from office. Basically, so as we see, this makes a difference because it gives the total power to the voters. That is basically the idea of American democracy, but in Arizona, it gives the powers more voters. So, what's the first question? What is an initiative? An initiative in Arizona law is the power to propose new legislation. To place an initiative on the ballot, the circulating committee must submit a minimum amount of signatures to the town's clerk's office. So that's what initiative is. A referendum is the power to reject or overturn legislative action taken by the council. So a referendum petition with a certain minimum of valid signatures must be filed within 30 days or the ordinance is suspended. So that's the difference between an initiative and referendum. So an initiative it gives the people the power to propose new legislation or laws. Referendum gives them the idea to overreject or return a certain law by a certain amount of votes. So that's the definition of referendum and initiative in Arizona state law. All right. Next part, we're just going to talk about how this was created. Sorry, guys, give me a second. So, this whole idea started in 1912. The first initiative in Arizona was the women's suffrage movement. The initiative passed by a margin of greater than 2-1 on November 5th, 1912. So that's when the first initiative ever started in the state of Arizona was when the women's suffrage movement, women were fighting for their rights to vote and other citizenship rights that men already had in Arizona and the rest of this country. That was the first initiative ever done in terms of initiative. Another famous one was the sales food tax initiative. Uh, that was in Arizona. These are some famous initiatives that happened in the state of Arizona. In terms of referendums, one of the first referendums was the referendum to basically uphold a certain 1980 the sales food tax in Arizona. People thought it was a ridiculous sales tax, so they signed a right amount of signatures to get that changed, and that's what the referendum was amplified. So if we could compare and contrast what an initiative and referendum is, initiative, as we see, is the initiative from citizens to create new laws, to get through legislation, these laws at a certain time or a certain movement or a certain place and the state of Arizona meant something for somebody, for example, like the suffrage movement or any other initiative. So the idea of initiative is to bring a law that will help create positive change in society. While referendum basically is to switch over a law that people think that, this law is past our time or this it's not really useful at this time and place. So that's the difference between the initiative and the referendum. I believe they both have pros and cons. Obviously, when you give an initiative or referendum, when you give people these kind of rights, it's the basis of democracy. But sometimes what people want is not always what's best for the government. That'll be the argument. So maybe even if even though it's a popular initiative or a popular referendum, doesn't mean it was the right move at the right time. So that would be the pros and cons of a democracy. But in this case, initiative and referendum by people who are choosing the wrong idea can create problems. So that would be that's how I think of it. So overall, I still think it's a great idea. Giving people the freedom of choice is always something great. I could never argue against that. A lot of people around the world, they still don't have human decency, right? They don't have certain basic rights that everybody else has in this country. So that's my opinion. I still think that that's a great idea that Arizona initiates this initiative and referendum. So because it gives people a straight line to their public officials, and that's always a positive thing. And thank you very much, guys, and have a blessed day.